In the previous videos, I was talking about the connection between the current issues of the clash of genders as well as the child estrangement issues are actually a result of the current Hegelian dialectic that is emerging in the collective consciousness of humanity, and the Platonic dialectic that is of the past system of hierarchical control of our current system, that those two are clashing. And so in this third video, I want to talk about like how I have learned how to navigate around these conflicts so that not only I don't get lost, because I still want to stay plugged into the collective. I still want to engage with people and create meaningful relationships and experiences. So I don't want to retreat nihilistically into some mountain, so to speak, because it's not helpful to neither myself nor others. So I explained about how each human has a very unique cosmic blueprint of an experience of the divine. So basically every person walking around is a god. They are what we would determine as a god. And this came from years and years of questioning people who have talked to divine beings, whether they thought of it as a monotheistic God or a polytheistic God. But then I started journaling and documenting how their gods differ from each other and how it differed from my experience of God. And so once I began to create this collective of understanding, okay, like I have talked to thousands of people over the last 30 years in spiritual communities, and everybody does have a different God. Their gods sound, they have different ways of speaking, they have different dialects, they have different way, because I would ask people, can you speak like that God speaks to you? Can you replicate that to me? And I noticed their voice would change, but it was always different for every person. And so I began to realize that each person is literally like a little mini universe. And the only way we could collectively increase our consciousness and not live sort of confined in our own little tiny universe, just getting reborn every lifetime and then collapsing into ourselves. We're kind of like a star, just like bink, we come on and then we collapse and go into the underworld, and we bink, come on, and then we collapse and go back into the underworld. Kind of like flowers blossoming, each day. And then of course like the petals collapse and we go back into the underworld until we wait for the next lifetime when our flower comes up and opens up to the divine light. But then I was like, well, what if the flowers started looking at each other? And the fact that humans have this ability that whatever we focus on, whether that's another person or an idea or a concept, we absorb it and we understand it. And the aspect of understanding is actually a psychic ability to integrate the energies of another being. So what if we begin to learn each other, to worship each other as human beings, as fellow gods walking around on this earth? And through that act of worship, we actually learn their unique patterns and energetic blueprint, and we integrate it, which increases our blueprint. And if they choose to do this dance with us, they get to increase their blueprint as well. And that is a way in which we can grow. And so what I decided to do is I would release any expectation that anyone would want to understand me, because I understand many people are still indoctrinated into the Platonic worldview that might makes right if I am the quote-unquote dominant gender, dominant race, dominant culture, I don't need to understand you. So basically, it's like men don't need to understand women or children, and adults don't need to understand children, and humans don't need to understand animals because they're considered beneath them on the hierarchy of being from the Platonic dialectic. But in a Hegelian sense, there is no hierarchy. Everybody's equal. A flower, a dog, an elephant, me as a woman, a man, a president, a king, we're all equal. We are all equal in consciousness. And so really the relationships we develop are because we see in somebody something we can learn from. So I see in somebody this uniqueness that isn't like mine, and I am drawn to it. And that draw is the natural desire for our soul to actually grow. The reason why we are drawn to people, the reason why we are attracted to people, and not just romantically, like we could be attracted to people like obsessed about them negatively, and it's because they have a unique perspective of the universe that we want to integrate into our own. And so if you find that you're obsessing over people, instead of take it as a negative or a positive, think of it as neutral, as a discovery of your own energetic blueprint is about ready to grow, and you are about ready to integrate them. So that's what I started to do. And the old adage, follow my bliss, I follow my bliss when it comes to people. When I see something interesting, whether it's somebody irritates me, somebody confuses me, or somebody gives me pleasure, or somebody evokes an emotion in me, or somebody just draws my attention, like, ooh, what was that? That was interesting. That energy, and it can express itself in so many different types of emotions, kind of like colors of a palette. When I am drawn to somebody, I stop, I remove all expectations, all judgments, and I seek to worship that person in that moment. And I had that experience today. I was sitting and I was in a little taco restaurant and I was enjoying my food. I had just done a big bike ride and I was sitting there and there was this woman next to me and there was something very interesting about her energy. At first it was irritation and then it was fascination. And so I just started to talk to her. And we ended up having the most beautiful conversation. She shared her version of the divine with me. She shared her life story. She shared her spiritual experiences. I shared mine. And I could tell there was an exchange of psychic blueprint information between the two of us. And we began to grow in consciousness from that experience. And all it was simply talking to each other. And I feel what she gave me was a gift. And that's how you know that somebody is moving into the Hegelian dialectic, is that they treat you, regardless of whether you are annoying or you're pulling any kind of energy out of them, whether it's annoyance, anger, love, admiration, whatever it is, the person treats you as if you are a gift, because you are. Each one of us are a gift. And we get to give each other to each other in exchange. We don't have to give things. We can give energy and share our energy and let the other person want to understand. So in this dance, you will want to learn from others, and they may not want to learn from you. There will be a point where you have learned everything you need and you will know deep in your heart it is time to walk away. And the reason why you walk away or you let them walk away is because they don't want to learn you. They don't want to understand you or worship you or see you as a gift. And if they don't, just let them go. because it may take them lifetimes to figure out the Hegelian dialectic. Maybe meeting you, you were the first person who had this energy structure that they didn't understand. They will eventually get it. It's only a matter of time.